स्वयं रूपो वन्दे श्रीगुरु श्रीगुरु साग्रजात सहगना साधवे सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्णचेत श्रीराधा कृष्णपादा सहगना कृष्णपादाय कृष्णकृष्णाय श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदाय कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यानामिने हे कृष्णा करुणा दीनबन्धु सप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी विषमानुसुते देवी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम So continuing further, with Arjuna's description of the universal concept. Ahihitvam surasangha vishanti kechit vita pranjalayo grinanti swastiti yuktva maharshi siddha Suvanti pushkalabhi. All the hosts of the demigods are surrendering before you and entering into you. Some of them, very much afraid, are offering prayers with folded hands. Hosts of great sages and perfected beings, crying, all peace, are praying to you by singing the Vedic hymns. The demigods and all the planetary systems feared the terrific manifestation of the universal form and its glaring effulgence, and so prayed for protection. Rudraditya vasam ye cha satyam vishveshvino marutas dosmapascha gandharva yakshasuram Siddha Sangha
Gandharva Siddha Sangha
Vishante Tvam Vismitaschaiva Sarve.
Nishantitvam Sthasaiva Sarve.
All the various manifestations of Lord Shiva, the Adityas, the Vasus, the Sadhyas, the Vishvedevas, the two Ashwis, the Marutas, the forefathers, the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, the Asuras, and the perfect demigods are beholding you in wonder. So we see in text 15 to 20. Arjuna is talking about the vision of the universe. And yes, we were reading yesterday about the vision of the universe. That yes, there are so many hands, so many legs, so many bodies, and then fire is exuding out from everywhere, from the form of the Lord. And he's able to see everything in the form of the Lord, past, present, everything. That's the vision of the universe, man. That sitting at one place, Arjuna was able to see everything. Now, after explaining the vision of the universe from text 20, 23, Arjuna is describing what is the effect on the universe. What is the effect on the universe? And so now in terms of effect, Arjuna is pointing out that there is all these demigods and devas, they're horrified, they're terrified. And in their horrified and terrified condition, they are holding their hand as they are praying to the Supreme Lord for protection. The effect on the universe. And then further, after text 23, Arjuna is going to explain 24, 26, what is the effect on himself. Arjuna is going to explain what is the effect on himself. So we see here that when Krishna, we see here that when Krishna uh, takes charge or takes control, then that is overwhelming. So the Lord is hidden in general by Yogamaya Shakti, and the Lord is neutral. Udasina Vadasinam. That is the nature of the Lord actually. And therefore the Lord is just watching the living entity. The Lord is following the principle of Ye Yatha Mam. But now what we are seeing that in the universal form, what do we see is that the Supreme Lord is not only Udasinam Vadasinam, not only sitting and watching, but now when the Lord takes active control, the entire situation becomes overwhelming. This is the amazing aspect of the nature of the Supreme. That when the Lord takes control, it is going to become overwhelming. There is nothing else which remains. There is nothing else actually. Krishna's the active presence is going to overwhelm and supersede everything else. Therefore, we see the entire universe is shaken up. All the demigods are shaken up, Arjuna is shaken up, everyone is shaken up. And that is the meaning that the Lord has taken charge now. The Lord is maneuvering now. So this section actually again is very hope-giving in the sense that if the Lord takes charge and if the Lord takes control, then He can shake up any conglomeration of illusion. So the living entity is captured by layers and layers of illusion. But now if the Lord takes charge, all that is going to be shaken up. And that's what is happening. Arjuna and all the demigods are terrified, they're horrified, seeing this amazing form of the Lord. They're horrified and they're terrified actually. So in this way, the demigods and Arjuna, they, because of being pious, because of practicing, taking shelter of the Lord, they translate the situation as, as, uh, as taking steps forward to offer prayers to the Lord. And therefore it shows that the demigods are holding the hand, the sages, they are chanting peace, peace, Swasti, Swasti. So Krishna shakes up. And in this way, the Lord not only shake us, but in this way we are woken up from our slumber. So in life, the Lord is going to, uh, in life actually, you will see that the Lord is going to intervene in our slumber as an installment of His mercy, and we are going to be taken up. So here we see Arjuna and demigods, when they are shaken up, they are praying to the Lord and they are taking deep sleep. And that is the right answer. And that is the right attempt. So this aspect we can see here very prominently displayed. Therefore, the whole the process of Sharanagati is to somehow or the other become the Lord to take action. Somehow or the other. Offer service and prayers to the Lord in such a way that the Lord takes charge. So if Krishna takes charge, then no slumber can remain. If Krishna takes charge, then no conditioning can remain. Everything will be shaken up. रूपं महस्ते बहुवक्त्रनेत्रम्
Rupam Namaste Bhagavatam
महाबहो बहु बहुरूपदम् बहुधरं बहुदंष्ट्राकरलाम् दृष्टलोका प्राचिरचितः तथाहम्. O mighty armed one, all the planets with their demigods are disturbed as seeing your great form, with its many faces, eyes, arms, thighs, legs, and bellies, and your many terrible teeth. And as they are disturbed, so am I. So in the same way, actually, Krishna enters in the life of every living entity, in shaking him up thoroughly, waking him up thoroughly, completely, and the Lord enters as death in the life of every living entity. Whereas you see a materialistic living entity is very expert in trying to shirk off from Krishna, in trying to evade and dodge from Krishna. So then Krishna enters in that way. And that's disturbance. That is disturbing actually. So we see that that yet Krishna does enter in everyone's life. So now the whole point is this actually, that the whole point comes like this. That suppose somebody now he's sleeping, now he is woken up by the devotees. So now, if the devotee, uh, he is in tune, or we say that, okay, now suppose if the devotee being woken up, actually, now he wants to wake up. Say, for example, in the morning he's been woken up. Now, if this devotee has turned his heart in that way that yes, in the morning program, let me not tomorrow enthusiastically chant. Let me offer my heartfelt prayers. I want to very enthusiastically, attentively participate in the morning program. If he has turned his heart in this way and slept out, the next day when he is woken up, actually, the devotee sleeping will be grateful, and actually he will take it as a trigger now to start reciprocating with Krishna in terms of very deeply and attentively in that absorption attaining the mind. So that is the point. So waking up is a disturbance. But now, if this devotee uh, has turned his heart and already he is in the mood of reciprocating, investing, offering his prayers, offering his surrender to Krishna in this way, actually, then the morning wake up disturbance he will be able to take it up in a very positive sense. And rather the disturbance does not remain. No, it will not be, say for example, it will no longer be a terrifying situation actually. Sometimes actually, uh, uh, it all depends on basically how he has turned his heart. And that means that how much he is tuned or how much he is wanting to invest in Krishna. To that degree, one will be able to take up this waking up. In general, waking up is is not, yeah, it creates a disturbance. Waking up creates a disturbance. Sometimes we have seen the experience that, sometimes you wake up for a devotee and then, he becomes very angry. Huh? What is this? Is it not? Or sometimes, and devotee is sleeping, you wake them up and then they get up and then they are completely hallucinated and they are showing such ecstatic symptoms. Everybody gets disturbed, like that. So waking up is invested, or waking up is or consists of this kind of disturbance actually. But now it depends on the person. It is tuned to reciprocating with Krishna in that way that waking up will not create such a kind of disastrous and horrifying situation. But now, suppose if the devotee he doesn't want to get up, and then there is somebody who is waking him up. Now this becomes a very precarious, irritable scene, like that. Why? Because the devotee is waking him up and he doesn't want to wake up. He is changing the side. He is taking the blanket and putting over it again, and and he's thinking, what to do, And sometimes he's speaking that I have headache, and sometimes he's speaking I have stomach ache, like that. And again he's thinking I'm sleeping. So in this sense, or in this second case, the waking up will be considered as a very painful act. That's the point. Because the second person he is not ready to reciprocate with Krishna. He has not turned his heart in that way. So therefore the waking up is a painful act. And the more he is woken up, the more he will be unnecessary, the more he will be miserable. So similarly, we see that the Lord intervening in this layers of illusion of the living entity will be seen as a welcome opportunity by a devotee. But if one has not turned his heart and is not ready to reciprocate with Krishna and doesn't relate with Krishna in that way, it will be taken as a very painful act. So there is nothing to be fearful about that seeing the Lord so many faces and arms and thighs and legs and bellies and many terrible things. In a similar way, we will see that uh, when one wants to say serve Krishna or say improve in one's service, then somebody comes, gives some guidance, somebody comes, gives some suggestions, one will take it in a very proper spirit and be grateful for it. That yes, it is going to help me and add more flavors to now my service. So one will be able to take it as a grateful mood. But suppose if one is has lost track of serving Krishna, and within the service he is trying to now he started serving his own false ego, his own gratification, and so on and so forth. Now, if some guidance is given, some suggestions are given, a person will become very angry. That's why this disturbance is being created in my service. You become very angry, and the person who is the devotee who is giving guidance, so this devotee will start criticizing. And why is it creating problems in my path, and so on and so forth. So therefore, actually, the shaking up or the disturbance is the first phenomenon which is associated with awakening. But then, how does one translate it depends on the heart of the living. If the heart is given to Krishna, this will actually open doors to greater association with the Lord because one is going deeper in relationship. But if the heart is filled with gratification and the heart is closed, then actually this will be taken as great misery. So everything in life is to be seen in that context. Similarly, we see association of devotees also has to be seen in that context. If one is turning his heart and preparing his heart to constantly keep on improving to serve Krishna, then actually the association of devotees will be a very nice awakening for one to continue serving Krishna. But if that's not being done, the association of devotee may become very painful experiences, or miserable experiences well. Because so many devotees, so many thought processes, so many different ways of serving, so many opinions, so many faces, maybe. It all depends on the state of our heart. So now, text 24. नाभास्पृशं दीप्तमनेत्रवर्णं
अवाष्पशं दीर्घमनेत्रवर्णं
यत्ताननं
यताननं दीर्घविशालनेत्रं
दृष्ट्वाधिकं प्राप्यति अन्तरात्मा
विश्वाहितां पुरुषात्मा
धृतिं न विन्दामि समां च विष्णु
हृदयं न विन्दामि समां च विष्णो
O all-pervading Vishnu, seeing you with your many radiant colors touching the sky, your gaping mouth and your glowing eyes, my mind is perturbed by fear. I can no longer maintain my steadiness or equilibrium of mind. So Arjuna's situation here is just like the situation of the demigods when Lord Narasimhadev appeared. When Lord Narasimhadev appeared, all these devas and the demigods, they were not able to compile it. Their processors hanged. They were not moving forward. The interpretation codes were not moving forward and everything. And then they were stuck up and they were not understanding what to do. This is a ferocious form. It's very beautiful and beautifully ferocious. And how to compile it. So they tried out all kinds of combinations. They tried out probabilistic algorithms and they tried out offering and the probabilistic stochastic prayers, but it didn't work out actually. And they were all horrified in that. That what is this terrible form of the Lord, and that too filled with anger, that too filled with very angry. Lord Narasimhadev was very angry. So everyone was perplexed and bewildered and very restless, not understanding what is to be done. And that whole scene was arranged so as to glorify Prahlad Maharaj. That okay, Prahlad Maharaj takes the charge and then the Lord will be appeased. That was the purpose of the whole conference. And everybody was cooperating in that mood and the desire of the Lord to highlight His love. In a similar way, we see the demigods, they are disturbed, and Arjuna is disturbed. So the point is like this, that you see fear comes one step before. Fear comes one step before the next gear. So actually, the progressive curve of bhakti is like this, or the life situations come like this, that the first step is what happens is time to time, whether by our own invitation, by our own requesting the Lord, or by the Lord's cautious mercy intervening in our life, first there is going to be wear and tear. And when there is the layers of illusions are going to be ruptured. And when there is wear and tear, that gives rise to fear. And when there is fear, one is supposed to take the next gear towards Krishna. So fear is not the end result actually. Fear should lead, fear should lead to one taking the next gear action. That means surrendering very deeply towards Krishna. So here Arjuna, yes, his mind is put up with fear, no longer able to maintain his steadiness or equilibrium of mind because he is not able to compile this enormous form of the Lord. And in this state, Arjuna is wanting to take a deeper shelter of the Lord. He is wanting to take a deeper shelter of the Lord. So the next year. Damstra karalani te mukhani Drishvaiva kalanala sannidhani Vishonādanena labesha sarma Satida deva jagan nivasa O Lord the Lords, O refuge of the worlds, please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance, seeing thus your blazing, death-like faces and awful teeth. In all the directions, I am bewildered. So Arjuna is explaining the effect on himself, see 24 and 25, that yes, Arjuna is no longer able to maintain the steadiness of his mind, his systems are getting shut down, they are not able to compile, and then he is not able to keep his balance. Seeing the blazing death-like forms, faces of the Lord, the awful feet of the Lord, and therefore Arjuna, wherever he sees, he is getting bewildered. That is the effect on Arjuna. Wherever Arjuna is seeing now, he is getting bewildered. Therefore Arjuna is telling, "Oh Lord, please be gracious. I cannot keep my balance, seeing thus your blazing death-like faces and awful feet in all the directions. I am bewildered." So what has happened is here it's like it's very amazing. Here what has happened is that Arjuna is now able to see Krishna's awesome presence very near him. The universal form started with Arjuna seeing the form of the Lord in a very distant way. Okay, yes, so many hands, so many bellies, but what? Okay, that's okay. How does it? So he's able to see him as far off, and on the screen far off, he's seeing okay a huge form, so many arms, so many bellies, so many crowns, light is building now. But now what has happened is that Arjuna is able to see that actually this form is devouring the very soldiers who are there, the same battlefield in which he was standing. The death-like faces of the Lord, the awful feet of the Lord, Arjuna is able to see that. So that means what has happened is that it all started the scene of uh, the scene, the whole scene started like say for example a horror movie, but then you've seen that the horrifying aspect has come out of the screen and in real life it's happening. That's what has happened to us. So, so as long as it was just a form which was overwhelming, it was just like a horror movie on a screen. But now what has happened is that the Lord has come out and the Lord is now showing. The Arjuna is able to see his fellow soldiers being devoured, and entering the face of the Lord, being devoured, and everything will be devastated. That Arjuna is able to see that, and therefore he is bewildered now. That what's happening? What's happening? So, just like this whole aspect, just like we hear this, this question of being a Pashti, where people see that okay, there's misery in others' lives, and people say okay, the news is that there's misery in others' lives, and then people continue with this incredible. But then after some time, the same thing plays in their life, and then they're thoroughly jolted. So that which is distant is fine, but that which comes immediately in one's immediate life actually creates a heavy jolting. So now Krishna's revelation, the universal form, has entered Arjuna very closely. In his own the battlefield, he is able to see the Lord destroying Arjuna, and therefore Arjuna has got bewildered. अमी च त्वं धृतराष्ट्रस्य पुत्रः
Ami Jitvam Dhritarashtrasya Putra
सर्वे सहै भवानी पालसंगे
सर्वे सहावानसंगे
भीष्मद्रोणा सूतपुत्र तथासौ
भीष्मद्रोणासुरपुत्रस्तथासौ
सहस मदीये योधमुख्या
सहसामदीययोगमुखे
वक्त्राणि ते स्वरमाणा विशन्ति
वस्त्राणि सर्वमानविशन्ति
संस्रकरलानि भयानकानि
संस्राकराणि भयानकानि
केचिद्विलग्ना दशान् अन्तरेषु
एते विलग्नान्तरेषु
सन्दृश्यन्ते कुर्मितैः उत्तमाङ्गैः.
सन्दृश्यैर्निमितैरुत्तमाङ्गैः.
So now you see Arjuna is giving the vision of the battlefield. So the universal form is no more now a distant screen, where something is being played. It has entered Arjuna's very inner circle arena of activity, the battlefield. All the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with their allied teams, and Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and our chief soldiers also are rushing into your fearful mouth. And some I see trapped with heads smashed between your teeth. In a previous verse, the Lord promised to show Arjuna things he would be very interested in seeing. Now Arjuna sees that the leaders of the opposite party, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and all the sons of Dhritarashtra and all their soldiers, and Arjuna's own soldiers are all being annihilated. This is an indication that after the death of nearly all the persons assembled at Kurukshetra, Arjuna will emerge victorious. It is also mentioned here that Bhishma, who was supposed to be unconquerable, will also be smashed, so also Karna. Not only will all the great warriors of the other party like Bhishma be smashed, but some of the great warriors of Arjuna's side also. So Arjuna is able to see all this, the battlefield. Everyone is getting smashed, reduced to dust and powder. It's very amazing. Everyone is getting smashed, getting reduced to dust and powder. Now the whole point is that one may question that what kind of revelation and darshan is this? This is very ghastly. This is horrifying. What is this? Krishna is manifesting in this way. Everything is being destroyed. It's so ferocious. It is uncompilable. The compilation systems are getting shut down. Seeing this, is this God? What kind of description of God is this? And we understand that yes, actually, the whole point is that unless the illusion is destroyed, how does the clarity of eternal vision doesn't reinforce? So the Shastras are not giving a one-sided picture of God. Okay, God is very goody, he smiles so nicely, and he just keeps smiling and standing whenever you want to go to him. Krishna can intervene, and Krishna has the power to destroy all kinds of illusions. And therefore, the understanding which Vedas are presenting of God is an all-sided God. It's not just a one-sided God who's only batting. Required, he can pick up. Just like Krishna, he picked up Mother Rukmini. In the midst of that battlefield, fighting with Rukmini and their party, and the Lord emerged victorious. And as Mother Rukmini herself points out, like a tiger, he captured his booty and not allowed the jackals to take it down. Mother Rukmini pointing out that. In the same way, we see that yes, the Supreme Lord is all powerful. So creation and destruction are integral parts of the universe. And unless the illusion is destroyed, the sun rays, just like unless the fog is dispelled, the the sun rays, the clarity of the sun rays can never be experienced actually. Similarly, in a similar way, God destroys the temporary, the transient, the illusion, the layers and layers of illusion to pave the way for the eternal reciprocation to take place, the clarity of eternal reciprocation to take place. That is the nature of God actually. And in that way, He is manifesting. Understanding, a devotee who understands this is not at all disturbed actually, just like our Prahlad Maharaj is not at all disturbed when he is seeing on that day when Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Naham Videmi Adipate Ati Bhayanakasya. Jivartane Trabhukuti Rabasa Utmutam Strat. So Prahlad Maharaj is explaining, I am not fearful of your deed, the ferocious deed. I am not fearful of this most ferocious form, which because he is understanding that yes, this ferocious form is beautifully smashing off and soaking off. It's like a vacuum pump. It's taking off all the impurities, and then what will remain is clean and a clear reciprocation of the Lord. And because Arjuna, because Prahlad Maharaj is able to see that, he is not at all disturbed. So therefore, in a similar way, the devotee, he interfaces the miseries, the trying situations, the provocations in this world, not like that. So just like we see Lord Krishna is rescuing Mother Rukmini, and for Mother Rukmini, it is